Come on, let's go on an adventure. Come on, let's go on an adventure. Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, hello. I don't know what this is, so dismiss that, whatever it is. Hello. Hopefully everybody's doing good. I have a little bit of a shadow over here. Oh, hello, there's my hand. I don't know. We're gonna play some more Beacon Pines, part 4. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's not waste any time. I should probably turn on the light over here. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna see if that helps at all. Okay. Oh. Let's. Okay, so that's Beacon Pines, and that's Capture Any Fool. Okay. Oh. Well, that's kind of an issue that I don't have my controller plugged in. Alrighty. Well, that was not what I meant to do either. There we go. There we go.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival. We gotta stop Gran from blowing up the festival. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one, the one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho. Oh, dude, I gotta remember his voice. Whoa, ho. Nope. Ho. Oh, okay, I got it. Sly. Oh, man, I don't got it. Sly Devil. There we go. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone's gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Maybe we'll get to see what actually is going on here, because I'm very confused.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Ahem. Is this thing... Ooh, that hurt. Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and... I suppose you already know that. Yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. The town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right. Where was
William
I?
Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everybody.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear for our mayor. What a great turnout. Ah, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful
Mr.
podium.
Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's dude, I don't know that word. Unavoidable and undeniable, and I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life
Mr.
forever.
Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are the horizon. The festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together, and that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. And explosion? What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin the day. Everyone remain
Mr.
calm.
Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town, and so it is with a happy heart that I can
He
proclaim,
raised his hands up to the heavens.
our harvest awaits. Okay, and they all frosted again.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
That's a real crappy ending.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again, please.
Okay. Okay, let's go through this. We're gonna try this way. We're gonna do flight. Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr, we'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels. So there's tunnels?
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as
Why
they
is
gazed
it
across
ice?
the snowy terrain.
What the heck? That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Find a way home.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. 2 faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Oh no. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Meh. Still within safe ranges. Maybe spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sides to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. We're in Beacon Pines. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could it be? There couldn't be another town another town this deep in Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Okay, can't do that. Alright, let's go back here. Let's go. What up, Tiz? Luca, where are you?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be
With a resigned
rude.
sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. Okay. Okay, so it's not this way then. What up, Tizzy? In situations such as these, I find it best to chuck stuff first and ask questions second. Yeah, but what am I supposed to chuck? I don't have anything to chuck. Oh my gosh. I don't have anything to throw. Oh, right there. Okay. Welcome to Beacon Pines.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, welcome to Beacon Pines.
Okay, what the heck's going on? This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around? Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell's going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. So they're in Beacon Pines. That's, yep.
The fencing listened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
I have no idea what's going on. Looks like the stuff they put up at the Wheatwood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. This stuff looks familiar to you. It looks like the barrel near the puddle I shoved me into, yeah. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Oh yeah, or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a
The
bit.
boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day.
Dude, they're gonna
As it
die.
was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my
Iggy
temper.
motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into
Iggy
fights?
shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Roller are always having a blast together, laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn, with his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Oh. It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to the worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. And then they froze to death because they decided to sleep
The
outside.
house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Luca snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong.
He's not wrong.
I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca? Is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of.
And then he never
I'll be
returned.
back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off
Whether
me.
it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're
Luca
doing?
looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarf-necked furball. Uh-huh. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on an infinite expanse of possibility. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make it like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are. You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Ah, alright. That does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open
For a
them.
brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is just some cool experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. Are they experiments? You both grew up here. But the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But so they're clones. They're fucking clones. That's crazy. But a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call brain. It has a real version of discontinued, revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all, and no one noticed? Precisely. Okay, they're not clones. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Matt narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they
He
could.
looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home,
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through the wheatwood. What the fuck
Chapter
is going
6.
on?
The source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know.
Which is...
Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you, but you've been here alone in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I
There
do?
was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
It's fucked up. Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. 259K. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who loved them will never know the truth. Truth is
He
overrated.
bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Weirdo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some
Iggy gave
advice.
Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey, who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover. Who ya helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Karen and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off this switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever is at the source must be awfully valuable to Perennial Harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. What if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad, I promise. What happened to his mom? Let's do this. So his house should have been right here, but they uprooted the house. It can get awfully cold out there in the woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rolo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Aw, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Okay, we can't go that way. We're gonna go this way, and that way, and this way. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not that wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rolo were doing chores at Rolo's chicken coop, and you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop. I prefer to think of it as oh my gosh, why can't I speak? Incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rolo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried them under a tree. When I came back for them later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found them and tossed
Iggy
them.
triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. So they moved a whole freaking town without anybody noticing. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who's in way over his head. A hero's just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast-off, loser.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo, 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 echo. Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole. How do we smash a hole? Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Her. Where's Rolo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two at least. Rats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is this? What is all this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us? You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seemed like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime, and you happen to be extras ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not gonna be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Hello. Hi, Bran. Let's change the mood a
Kerr
bit.
snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Hey, Onion. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Onion! Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Yes, we have oxygen in Norway before you asked. Oh my god, I hope so. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. But, that's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool. Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What? Like
With
this?
a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side.
What the
Luca
heck?
dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the
Oh my
cold, wet
gosh.
snow.
I love how when they left, they walked up backwards, yeah.
He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening. If you do that, the clipboard will just call us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr is out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing that look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfish and selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life. I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phileas Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Rum dum dum, per pitty dum dum. Wow, can you believe this guy?
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are
Every
you?
muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
Calm settled over Iggy's face.
This crazy dark. Luca, let me do
His
this.
voice was colder than the bitter
This
air
is
billowing from the
freaking
chasm.
nuts. Let me do the right thing for once. Oh no. This is so dark. Don't do it, brother. Don't accept. Yeah, this is awful. Oh, what do I do? Refuse or accept? I'm accepting.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good. You wouldn't punch a policeman, so you don't do it.
The 2 silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
No, Iggy. Oh my god, I don't even know who Tired Sandwich is anymore. Wow, you're so mean. I know, right? Hey, man. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempus liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself, but doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that
We
case.
have some idea what that would look like.
Yep. It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my own way. Each of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my
A
role?
fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Bro, this game started off about a little elk dude in his treehouse. Now we're bending the barrier between matter and time. Laugh aloud. This is so crazy. Yeah, I know it is crazy. Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world. What?
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow.
You guys can all blame Tizzy for this.
Every step
He's the one who
taking him
got me this
further
game.
away from everyone and everything he knew.
Every choice I make,
And
it's not on
closer
me. It's
to
on Tizzy.
destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder.
What? What? Stephen Hawking was one of the writers. What? Beacon Pines 2, Pines Harder.
Revenge served cold. Second
Time's
time's
the
a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
All right. See, we had to do it. I had to know what the accept was. I'm not a bad person, okay? I needed to know. Now we're gonna refuse. And again,
No
any
choice
decision
but
I
to
make,
refuse
it's on
Iggy's
Tizzy.
request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now.
Oh my gosh, I hate Kerr.
A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he
Mirror,
saw
mirror
before
on the
cloth bag was
wall.
pulled
Who's the
over his
most
head
beautiful Kerr of
was
them
the
all?
defeated look on Iggy's face. The end. I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
No, we did the other thing, and that was not the right thing, but we were going to save the world. I'm just saying. Okay, we've done all those, that. So we're back over here, and we have to do chill or sly. They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop
I
interrogation.
don't know what good cop, sly cop is, so.
Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Moldawil girl. Please, call me Beck. Sorry about all
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reasons you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this
Mr.
town.
Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
to
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I've finished cleaning things up down
Beck
here.
was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
Are you sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and know where to put it. It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf. But all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rolo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it
Beck
seems.
marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Covered? Could it be cover up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh. It's an anagram. Nun Creed's
Luca
drugstore.
and Beck looked at Rolo with amazement.
Rolo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's Nug Rug Store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. The drugstore. Alright, we're gonna go up. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Do-do-do-do. Bunch of nerds deciphering stuff. I know, who deciphers stuff? Oh. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about? I
Gus
think
looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. Sister, that's wild. Yep. That is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris. He isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. The town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be part of that future or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. This lady has been here reading a book the entire game. The entire game. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Whole time.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Thought we might always have family to rely on. We might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. Where the stream? What do you mean, where the stream? What happened? Is it not there? Hold on. Something happened? Looks fine. Okay. Tizzy, you might want to refresh your thing. I'll give you a second. No, it's good for me. Okay. No, it's just Tizzy. It might have been his computer or something. Tizzy, let me know when you're back. Weird. Are you back? Can you see it now? It stopped working. Twitch does that sometimes when you're on its website. It's something with the website. It's probably not you. It's fine now. Okay. But whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Okay, so he gives them cash. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's gotta be more. There's gotta be more. Oh my gosh, I'm losing voices here. there's gotta be more clues. Clues. Oh. Okay, let's see. Really? That's the okay, let's see. Door. It's gonna be this. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's nude drugstore. I mean, underground secrets. The
Beck
password.
flung open the door, and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Oh, there's
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
Knew it. You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. Mining Operation Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. The town is all farms and fertilizer, and a series of tubes. Pa always said you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff? If she's involved in all this, we just moved here. How could she be involved? True. What's the last one say? Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is strange to feel like something, or this is starting to feel like something big. Okay, what's over here on this thing? Nothing? This suit has a broken mask. So have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password, but they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know your father and I were friends back
He
before
gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were a sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick in the villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and
He
gone.
shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know. My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival. Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with it. Tell me now, she's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain, but why would
A
she?
jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze it. Dear God, she's going to freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she
I wish
seemed
we
to
had
cover
this
great
instead of
distance in
cars to
moments.
get places. Yeah,
Her
same.
only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she
Yeehaw!
stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay. That was intense. Yeah. I think I might have partied with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold? Doesn't look like it got on any of us. It doesn't feel like we traveled that far. So where'd it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone ever want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. Gotta catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Freaking... I love how Rollo's like, guys, I'm pretty sure I peed myself. And I don't know why it's not all over you, but I'm pretty sure there's pee in that too back there. Oh, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Yo, man, what up, Silver? I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. Other man's just chilling now. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their own choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving. Just chilling.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you're doomed this whole town. Oh, if it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Grand, what's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollenbeck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over the torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not
They
fair.
menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to... Oh my gosh, what am I gonna choose? Weep or hum? Oh, this is... Oh man. Are we gonna cry or are we gonna sing? Um...
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
Are we gonna hear the song or is it just gonna... Oh yeah!
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
Is that his grandma or is that gonna be like his mom? And she's got old age by the goo.
Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. It is his mom. Buckaroo, the only people who call me that are Dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more
Oh,
clearly.
this is terrible, guys. What the fuck? Matt! Tizzy, what fucking game did you have me play, dude? What the fuck is
He could
this?
just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees.
Oh my gosh.
Something about her was undeniably his mother, only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom!
Luca sprinted as fast as he
That's
could
why the
toward his
grandmother
mother.
was dead. Oh my gosh,
They
dude.
held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor, I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
Told you, not bad for a furry game. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until Perennial Harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. Until they get what they... Yeah, I don't know. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
This can't be... They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now. There's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We got a party to crash. Dude, that's crazy that it's his mom. What the heck, man? You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9.
I'm starting to think that that other guy, whatever his name was, the guy who ran the fertilizer company, I don't think he's dead.
The devil you know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus Liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that is what change is all about. I bet you, man, I don't know. Before this happens, I'm just gonna say that the little kid is actually the guy who owns the place. I bet you it's him, and somehow he figured out how to make himself young. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making the choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret, and perennial harvests only exist to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated... Miss Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see this festival is a sham, an excuse to have the whole town gathered in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true, and now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... Yep. That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever tempestuous, I don't know, Eleanor Roundhorn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look
He
dreadful.
paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party, but alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr. Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for the rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You've done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed
Kerr
upon.
gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you're most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper
His
Valentine.
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Yep.
A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No. Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. The festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is the celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be it to reveal the sign. Sharper Valentine Festival. Ha, wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard! Malice, okay. I'm glad you're back, so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give, the opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I am disappointed would be an understatement. But silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where's Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, here he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. People deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You are about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest? Ha! You think that puffed up blatherskite could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow. You've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, Thespian extraordinaire at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly was the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a patsy the whole time? Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most, and I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha, the young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity if things would have gone a bit differently. You might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end.
That was a crappy ending.
This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, there's like 2 different ways I can go still. Oh man. Actually, is there more than that? Hold on. No, we did all that. We did all that. We did that. Malice. We didn't do malice. There's like 4 different ways. All right. We're gonna change to weep. See what happens.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing
Before
to...
Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
And then they all turned into ice again. Yep.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Okay. I think I'm gonna end it here. I need to go eat dinner. So we will do this next time, which will be next week. On Tuesday. But yeah, let me see who we can let me actually put myself to face. We will finish this game next time. Hello. Dude, this game's crazy. Like, seriously. It's fucking nuts. Like, I did not expect that. That was yeah, that was fucking nuts. Let's see, is there anybody I know that's on? Oh yeah, we're gonna raid my buddy Raymix. He's played in Elden Ring. So yeah, it's a pretty fun game to watch. Or wait, not that. Raid. Thanks, dude. We are gonna stream Sunday. We are gonna stream probably a horror game. I don't know what yet, but something. Probably in the morning, I would guess, because Sunday night I got stuff that I'm doing. But thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys next time. And yeah, let me make sure I spelled it right. All right.